Ow. Ow. Good morning, kitty cat. I'm here, and I'm very late today. Good morning, Oni-chan. Good morning, Fisty. How are you? Morning, Kiss. You're up again quite early. Hi. 1 second. Morning, the consultant 427. 1 second. Good morning, the fortunate son. Thank you for calling me Queen Maple. Good morning, Kanan. How you doing? Morning, Access Sip. I'm surprised to see you today. You didn't mess up the time. I'm just late. Good morning, Sheeple. Is it a full moon? Oh. Oh, really? Ah. When is my period due? Good morning. I shouldn't talk about periods. Good morning, good Maxine Bot Cell. Good morning, Accent Geek. Thank you for calling me Moon Dad. I like it. Morning, LDTGX. Hope you are good too. Oh boy, about being good. Good morning, Luxafate. Thank you for calling me Maple. Supermoon, she's right in front of us. Oni-chan, you're not allowed to gas me up this way. My opinion of myself is already too big. It's too large. Good morning, random passerby. Yes, the stream has just begun. Morning, aspect 345. I do have water in my Stanley cup, and I was thinking about it today. How, like, capitalism, man. You know, right? You know what I'm talking about, bros? Capitalism. But no, I was thinking about form and function and how it doesn't matter that the Stanley Cup is a quintessential, let's be honest, white woman. I don't know what you could call it. A token or something like that. But it works. It's very well designed. I have been trying to have a better water drinking habit for the longest time, and it has been the most effective solution to get me to consistently drink water throughout the day. I always drink water like during meal times and stuff like that. But my trouble is I don't sip enough water throughout the day. Uh we are surprisingly like plants, and yes, this is foreshadowing. Good morning, Egigoka. Thank you for calling me queen. Not legally allowed to work. Had a 16-hour shift yesterday. Oof, that's long. Congrats. Good morning, Izuku Meowderia. Meow, meow, meow. Good morning, Master Protest. Thank you for welcoming me to the stream. Why is it called it? Is it made by Stanley? You know, the only Stanley I know is that hot dog. There's this Stanley the hot dog. You either know him or you don't. This is also foreshadowing. Can you do nail tapping on the Stanley? Is this a sponsored segment? No, I'm not sponsored, because when you are sponsored, you are owned in a way. Your content no longer belongs to you. Just kidding. The reason why I'm not sponsored has little to do with my principles or values, and everything to do with the entire shit show that my content is. My content isn't worthy of sponsorship. No, Izuku Meowderia. I'm just saying words. Good morning, Rainy Danny Zero. Good morning, Tentacola. I am indeed from the 14th moon. Think of hockey when someone mentions Stanley. Me too, the fortunate son. I also think of, like, the other Stanley Cup. Good morning, Ryu 137. How you doing? How you doing? I need to get a Pop-Tart sponsor. But I can't. I'm not. Okay, that is the perfect segue into the first topic for today. since I have stopped consuming Pop-Tarts, I have had, the color of my bowel contents. I could say this because D. Graves isn't here to yell at me. The color of my bowel contents is no longer bright red. I can't tell if something was wrong with me physically, or if it was just the Pop Tarts, or, an option B, it could be something else. But it's been like, since the last time I mentioned it, I'm pretty sure that was like several weeks ago. No money can replace the rage to Palantir. That's true. It's less rage, more extreme fear. He's gonna do a role play today. Gonna rant 40 minutes, go over time limit, regret it for like 5 days from now. Bold of you to assume that I'm only 5 days behind on VOD watching. It's probably like the end of the month. Manning, Rise Up 420. God, good Manning, Squirtle Squad 77. Been a while. How are you? Did the 1000 Pop-Tarts arrive yet? Nope. And I do need to. Thank you for reminding me, Fisty. I need to log on to Throne and double check. The Manning Skelly Sand. That's good marketing on their part because protein is really in. She already beat colon cancer. No, I have not. Okay, let me stop reading chat for a moment so I can bring you guys up to speed. My health is not looking good, boys. And I hate to use excuses because every time I use excuses, I'm reminded that I'm a woman and that I don't take accountability. Well, maybe I don't have to. Is that how that works? But yeah, my health is not looking good and I was late to stream today mostly because of that. The main issues are like physical pain and soreness and fatigue. And I'm not sure what the culprit is. I don't think it's Pop-Tarts because like I said, I haven't had Pop-Tarts in a while. I'm not sure if it was all the ramen I've been consuming almost exclusively for several weeks. Especially because it's like a very spicy variety, so high sodium, high spice. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's that I'm not getting enough vegetables. Not sure if it's a lack of sleep because not only is it important for adults to get 8 hours of sleep, because all of the processes that happen while we are asleep, but it's important to get consistent sleep. And that is something I think I was doing very well, like for 2 separate periods during this year, and recently it's fallen off again a little bit more. And I blame the toddlers. I blame the little kids who just can't help themselves but to speak at a decibel higher than what is socially acceptable. I have a lot of opinions about toddlers, and I think I feel like the entirety of humanity in a nutshell is represented in a toddler, but through education and social pressures, we try to beat out natural humanity, right? Something about are we like fundamentally evil? Haven't had consistent sleep in over 18 years. 30137, you might be shortening your telomeres, but it's definitely your choice. And Exisip as well. You know, I'm curious, but this is not the question of the day. I'm just curious, something for you to think about is like, how do you want to live? Do you want to live a short, intense life? Or do you want to live a long and peaceful life? I'm not saying that there's only 2 choices or that you really have any, what do you call? Like, that it's up ultimately all up to you, but whatever. Your body goes without specific things. Your body will get it from other parts. That slowly kills you. Yes, Oni-chan, that does bring me to the point is that I do believe I'm experiencing the early stages of total system failure, organ failure. I really feel like I'm being attacked from multiple organs. I do not. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So I'm having trouble organizing my thoughts and reading chat. So I'm gonna take time and do my thoughts first. Yeah, I will address my diet and water intake because although I'm drinking more water than I previously did, I still don't think I'm drinking enough water that I should be drinking. Exercise. I haven't been going outside for, over 2 weeks now because I'm afraid of my neighbors' ring doorbells. That's the crux of the problem. I'm afraid of Flock. I'm afraid of the local sheriff's office using footage of me to my detriment when to frame me is what I'm trying to say. And then for vitamins, I have them but I don't take them every day. All of these things are things that I will be addressing, right now. So for today, I had a fruit. um And then the last part of it all is also my mental health. I do think I've been, whatever. It sounds like I'm just complaining because that's what I'm doing, but I don't know. Yeah, low grade stress. Is it low grade? I don't know. I think I'm quite stressed and anxious a lot of the time, but it's certainly been ramping up lately. Um I don't have to talk about it too much because I've already talked about that enough, but yeah, it hasn't really gotten better. I still am trying to figure out how to have a better control grip on my mind and my emotions. How to not be so affected by the goings-ons of the world as well as other people's demands on me. Manning Padecco, Manning. Be my girlfriend, please. You found a girlfriend? Congratulations. Look at you. That's great. Look at you. Anyway, in conclusion, I think bed rotting is probably not conducive to living a life of any meaningful amount of quality. I do think that bed rotting was a bad idea. I shouldn't have tried it. And it wasn't just traditional bed rotting, but it was like across the board, like how can I how can I be less and move less? I think that stasis is not a good idea. Won't recommend it for the folks at home. Good morning, Maurice. How are you? Oh man, I'm losing my voice again. Anyway. I discussed this in the Litter Box secret channel. But basically, boys, here is a quest for you. Only those of you who are watching today or who read it earlier in the Litter Box. I don't want much from this life, right? But my one wish is that the Moonies memorialize me. A year from the day of my disappearance, I want the Moonies to form a holiday. You do that for me? And every year, on that date, you will be required to consider participating in 3 activities. Activity number 1, I want you to honor cats by either looking at pictures of cats or looking at videos of cats, or if you have a cat that you know in real life, you can pet it and show it some appreciation. Number 2, I want you to meditate for any amount of time of your choosing, and by meditate, I just mean like disconnect from demands and just be alone with your, with your thoughts for a few moments. And remember, these are required to be considered, not required to be done. So you don't have to do any of them. I just hope that you consider them. And then the last thing would be to present an offering to my spirit, the spirit of the cat girl. My personal recommendation would be warm milk and crackers, or tuna and crackers. But it doesn't have to be a food item, and you can offer anything that you think will be of interest to the cat girl spirit that would please her. This is my request. What if they just hug each other and cry because our beloved moon is gone? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, you can hug each other while meditating. The way she's speaking feels like we're in a cult. The consultant 427, I haven't gotten there yet. You're pre-reading. Anyway, we'll get to the cults in a little bit. I need to move faster. No psychedelics. No pig feast. Wait, Misty. The spoiler. I won't talk about that in detail. I'm not going to talk about them in detail, Oni-chan. Give me a moment. Anyway, on the screen, I forgot to give you context. It says, build cognitive and civic resilience by reading widely, practicing critical thinking, keeping good sleep and exercise habits, and also staying socially active. This is tangentially related to the first goal of the stream, which was to discuss my health, but also now it leads to the next part of the stream where we discuss building my brain from scratch. So I've been trying to reorganize my brain because I'm addicted to dopamine. I am addicted to stimulation. I'm not talking about flicking beans. I'm just saying. I have to retrain myself because I want to. I desire to retrain myself to be able to tolerate silence and downtime without needing a constant distraction. Like the toddlers who are addicted to iPads and shorts. I think I look for novelty and discovery. You're talking like you're gonna die tomorrow because you're not eating right. Well, no, I'm not just mangy. I didn't go into detail, but I'm experiencing a lot of peculiar pain. That it's not debilitating pain, but it's sufficient for me to be worried. But I'm going to address it. I wasn't saying that you have to make the holiday right away, but I'm saying if that happens. Anyway, that's just what they call contingency plan. Anyway, I'm addicted to discovery. I want to learn more about the world. It's it's a cliche that the masses are blind to their own brainwashing, and that they, and like, there's a lot of things, but basically, I've always been a skeptic of what was like what we coin as conspiracy theory, because I thought it was lazy, honestly. I thought conspiracy theories were looking for an out to not have to do the work or the rigor of learning something deeply from beginning to end. Now I'm starting to wonder if there's even any such thing as a conspiracy theory, really, and whether or not conspiracy theories are a branding issue where in certain institutions and trains of thought that have dominance use the label conspiracy theory to to quell curiosity and to prevent people from exercising critical thinking. The recipe for happiness has been solved for a long time. It's people who deny it that struggle. Chief Groiping Eagle meowing. Can you please tell me what the recipe for happiness is, though? Because I've been searching. That's one of the things I've been looking for. She's opening her eyes to the man behind the curtain. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Some conspiracies are true, some so-called theories are blatantly false. What I'm trying to say is that, like, the idea of a conspiracy theory at its base is that something about the world that we are told by certain authorities didn't happen the way it's purported to happen, or didn't exist, and that there's some, like someone else said, there's some man behind the curtain who's trying to trick us and fool us, right? Um, and I feel like to call all of the alternative ideas for how the world might work, to call it all conspiracy, is to like debase it by default, right? To make it hold less weight by default without even trying to yes, it's a label to discredit them, as Ted said more eloquently as I could. Good meowing. What's the difference between conspiracy theory and facts? Time. Okay, I'll accept that as a possibility. Anyway. um And in my search, I don't really even know where to begin with my relearning, because um all like so much written knowledge that's past has like intentions behind it, and you can't, yeah, history can be written either by the victors or by the literate. That's not, or not just that. History being written by victors, by the literate, by the people who have who don't have ADHD, right? Who can organize themselves to sit down and write a thing from start to finish. And then we can get into like social capital and connections and networking. Now, I do think the internet by and large turns a lot of this on its head in a way, because ideally anyone can get online and talk about anything. But anyway, I won't get too far into this. All I'm trying to say is that it's an interesting journey that I'm partaking in, and that today specifically, I was reading about male cults, male violence and deception, and it made me think of feminism all over again because it's I need to do more research, right? That is the asterisk and caveat. But it seems that across the board, there may be something in our evolutionary biology that drives men or drives the half of the the half of the animal population who have smaller gametes to competition and to violence. Let's just call it what it is, violence. Why is it that there are multiple records of cult behavior, right? Where a group of people get together and decide something in secret, and then they use that decision to hoodwink the rest of the group, right? And I don't want to, I will, yeah, I'm going to refrain from getting too deep into it, but I just find it interesting how there's been a historical trend of like women and children being victimized as part of ritual, and men being the ones who can become ordained and let into the secret group, right? And I'm specifically referencing like kind of ancient hunter-gatherer type societies. But I think there's something similar that happens today, right? I didn't call your brain small. I called your sperm small and numerous. Kamanin Doki Delili, I'm talking about male cults and why they make me a feminist. So, yes, women are involved in the cults, but good Maxime Botcell, let's not pretend for a moment they're created equal. Women who don't want to be harmed are, they're incentivized to turn a blind eye to the cults. Otherwise, if they question too much or look too much, they would be raped and killed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube. Anyway, but I'm wondering why is Palantir and Google and Meta and Microsoft and OpenAI and Oracle and I was gonna get political and start talking about governments, but I'll just stop myself there. Why why are all these bodies that have enormous effect on the livelihoods and daily lives of everyday people? Anyway, I'll leave it alone. This wasn't supposed to be a tech rant. This was just me. This is just me yapping about some things that I've been reading about. I'm not done cooking. And then I found this gem in the wild. These words are not in the Bible. You're gonna get demonetized. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay, it's fine. Can they even demonetize me? I haven't made a single penny on YouTube yet. Give me any praises. Anyway, I found this on Twitter. People often foolishly assume ancients were dumb and ignorant. They knew exactly how to do things that were important to them. We use similar techniques to do the same now. It's just not as important to us. The reason this stuck out to me is because we've been having this ongoing conversation about intelligence. What is it? Where does it come from? And most importantly, how many people have it? If you believe what that certain man I think, isn't he Austrian? But in German history, if you believe as he believes, that the masses are just unintelligent and we were built this way, or maybe that we became this way on purpose, that's one thing. But yeah, I often find myself wondering, okay, why do people in history seem like they were smarter to me, but also it feels like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting too vague. I'm going to refrain. And again, do more cooking. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to all the kitty cats in the world. You're watching Love Talk with Mrs. Moonson. This is a daily talk show where a kitten who's smitten chats about love, life, and anime, amongst other things, that some people would prefer I don't talk about. It's Therapy Thursday. And I definitely am in need of therapy. Good morning, Tarragon Drag Neil. How are you? But I'm not doing the ASMR today. I have one that I plan to do, but I'm not doing it today because I don't feel like it. I don't like being controlled. I don't know. I want to talk about conformity and stuff, but I really don't want this to go on too much longer. But I think there's already enough conformity. I agree that it would be better in the sense of like metrics, maybe even in the sense of growing a cult, if I were more predictable, if I had a clean show that followed the rules. Hey, Oni-chan, I gave you a whole 30 minutes of meowing. Don't complain. And you know what? If we want to blame someone, right? You could just say that. You could say it's because of you all, right? The moon, the cat girl's spirit hasn't received enough offerings lately, and so she's not inspired to do ASMR, right? Yeah, it's because Kiss ate all the cheeseburgers and didn't share with the rest of the kitty cats. Meowing doesn't count as ASMR. Not a cult, by the way. Not yet, LDTGX, but I'm starting to think that everything is a cult. I don't know what to do. I don't have the time. People benefit more socially than intellectually. I don't know what those words mean, but I think I do perhaps agree with them. The question of the day. Who is ignorant blissful for? You guys know the saying, ignorance is bliss, right? And that's what I'm questioning today and many other days, is like, is ignorance truly blissful? Is your existence blissful when you do not know what you do not know and you don't care about it? Or is ignorance more blissful for people who are not ignorant, who have a domination complex? Not everything is a cult, but there are a great many things that share similar properties. Yeah, random passerby, you're right. I was being very lazy when I said everything. That doesn't make any sense at all. But what I mean by what I meant by saying I'm starting to believe that everything is a cult is that at some point in time, I was fed this belief that hard work and hard work alone and merit would guarantee a good life or a better life. And then at some other point, really early on, I realized that goodness, hard work, and character don't tell the whole picture. They don't explain the whole story. There are plenty of people who cut corners, behave badly, but who are otherwise charismatic, who benefit greatly in life. So it's like cults of personality. I like acting ignorant so I can pretend everything is okay and keep pushing. That's really sweet, Doki Delele. It's sweet if you can do it. And I do think my inability to pretend does make me quite miserable, as Bongai says. Good meowing, by the way. I do think it makes me miserable, and I don't know. I think I would die sooner if I did more of that. Mhm. The lessons our parents and guardians teach us prepare us for a generation too late. What they teach us that work for them will more than likely not work for you, as society has changed greatly by the time you're their age. Oni-chan, yes. I just wish I got that memo, or that I understood that. I wish I understood that when I was like 10 years old, because I would have made different decisions with that knowledge. But it's fine. Better late than never. And at the same time, though, although there are direct lessons from the past generation that don't apply today, there's tons of wisdom and useful knowledge from all over the course of time. It doesn't even have to come from your guardians or ancestors. And that's what I'm doing lately. It's like I'm trying to befriend the dead who have something useful to say to me. People who are no longer with us, but who discovered something, or honestly just wrote about something in their time that could be useful to me today. Anyway, in lighter news, let's shift gears. I've been playing a bit of The Sims 2, and I just want to share the goings-ons with you. So, I have a lot of guilt about playing video games because I feel like I'm not doing enough work, and I need to work harder. But at the same time, when I go too long without any source of joy or happiness, I start to wonder, why am I even on Earth? Like, why am I living, right? Like, if I'm gonna die from this cancer within the next 13 months, there should be a little bit of joy in there, right? Anyway, I yeah, this is my latest character, Izzy Newton. Does anybody get it? Does anybody understand? You understand the reference. Um, she tried to become a teacher because you gotta pay the bills somehow. And first she got demoted, and then she got fired. And it made me feel like, I don't know, it made me feel like, it's a sign. It's a sign from the video game gods that I don't need to get a job because they're just gonna fire me anyway. They're gonna lay me off for AI. Also, Izzy adopted a little kitty, and we named her Baby. We named her Baby. So this is Baby the kitten. It's an orange cat with one brain cell. So cute, so cute, so cute. Ah, and to give you a little bit about the backstory of this Izzy Newton character, we'll just say that she, like me, is a discoverer of things. She wants to learn about the world and build many, many things. I can't explain the suit. I can't explain. Wait, there are things that are not appropriate for conversation, so I'll just leave that alone. As part of her experiments, however, she's been growing things in her yard. And I thought I would show you guys like how it started and how it's going. So currently she has a certain condition. She has a certain condition that caused her to race swap temporarily. hazmat garden and farting. No, 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 no. She was spraying pesticide. This is I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. But yeah. After changing her race, she got another gift in the house, and this is what I'll leave you with. Um We reproduced asexually. We did it, boys. We created a little one, and the little one's name is Immy. So we have Izzy Newton and Immy Newton. And for some reason in The Sims 2, cat genetics change the same way babies sometimes change. You know how sometimes babies change like hair color or texture or eye color? Our cat named Baby grew up and became it also, oh my god, I just realized the cat also race swapped. This is very interesting. Anyway, yeah, the cat does not look particularly pleased, but I'm sure she loves it. Thank you for letting me share this with you. I'll give you a quote and then I will leave. Also, good morning, praise the sun. How are you? How are you? She became a kappa, exactly. I gotta do more research and learn about the kappas. Would you let a kid for whom you're responsible be taught exclusively by AI? Seems unlikely most teachers will be totally replaced anytime. I think I don't think that's a good idea at all. Wait a minute. I don't know. By the way, I can't say this for sure cuz I don't know. But what I mean is like I haven't experimented enough with the best AIs that exist. So I don't really know the answer to this. But what I can say so far about the AI that I do use is that they don't seem to know things for sure. They are just good at sounding convincing, and sometimes, depending on your query, gathering enough words in a way that looks like it makes sense, right? And sometimes it does. In fact, it might even make sense 9 out of 10 times. But every once in a while, when I ask an AI chatbot like Perplexity about something that I know about for a fact, it'll convincingly tell me something that's completely inaccurate. So I worry about that danger of like, yeah. But that, you know what? I feel like that is a step ahead. Maybe that's not even something to be concerned about because should we worry about AIs replacing teachers as for young children, or should we be more concerned that young children might not even be learning and they may not have been this might be an ongoing thing that's been happening for a long time. Anyway, I leave it alone. Let's get a quote and then end the stream after 45 minutes like Oni-chan predicted. Don't deny yourself the opportunity for a better life out of fear. I don't know where I stole this from. I don't think it was Twitter. I'm pretty sure I stole this from a book. But for anyone in the crowd who needs to hear this, I think there's so much truth in these words. I think a lot of people, myself especially, are fearful of risk taking for reasons that don't make a lot of sense, and they're denying themselves opportunities to improve their life because of that, right? So for example, I would have a better life if I could touch grass once a day. I know this to be true. Going outside, breathing fresh air, seeing the little critters, and yeah, touching the grass, because I don't have allergies, genuinely improves the quality of my life anytime I've done it ever. I've never been like, oh yeah, this nature stuff, not for me. I will say that like, okay, I don't really like bugs and spiders and stuff like that, but in general. And yet now I'm afraid of my neighbor's cameras, so I'm like denying myself something I know that makes me feel better. Yeah, I am suffering from a lack of seeing rabbits. I'm suffering to the point that I think it will be lethal. So I'll have to fix it. Anyway, that's it. Wow. I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you all for hanging out with me and letting me brain dump for like almost an hour. I appreciate you very much. I can't get you a green card exit because um I don't think love is in the cards for me necessarily. But if it ever is, right? I don't know for sure. It might be in the future, right? I want to marry my sweetie that I love. I don't want to marry someone unless, unless the price is right. If you could, oh wait, I don't think I'm allowed to say this. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. If you could give me enough Monero so that I could live comfortably and independently for the rest of my days in Minecraft, then I would consider it. But I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Gotta go. 60K is not enough. Sorry. Mounting the little ones. Bye.